Hi, I'm Ellen Menny.
And I'm Will Mungo. Welcome to the Monday Night Roar.
We have your latest Clemson news, entertainment, and sports.
All that and more coming up on the Monday Night Roar.
A group of students hosted a campaign memorial for Walter Scott today in the Student Union. Scott, a North Charleston man, is being remembered as a victim of police brutality after he was shot in the back and killed while running from police officer Michael T. Slager. Supporters wore green or black in honor of Scott, and students were encouraged to take selfies of their outfits with hashtags such as hashtag I am Walter Scott and hashtag Black Lives Matter. Students were also able to sign a poster pledging against police brutality. After the event, organizers plan to hang the poster in the Student Union.
I hope you guys aren't too attached to Serene Hall because Clemson trustees have approved a pre-concept plan for a building to replace it. Serene was built in 1938 and is currently housing the College of Business and Behavioral Science as well as other programs. The new facility, which has not yet been named, will be home for all business and related disciplines, as well as space for outreach and research institutes. It will also include a variety of classrooms, labs, faculty offices, and study areas for students. The new building will cost around $120 to $130 million and is expected to be completed by summer of 2018, according to Vice President for Finance Brett Dalton.
Sashay to Tillman Hall on Saturday night at 8 p.m. because Clemson Live is partnering with the Gann Center and the Resident Housing Association to host the 3rd annual Clemson Drag Show. Part of Clemson's Pride Week, this dazzling event will include performances by Patio Furniture, Delighted to Be Here, Lexi Thomas, and Scorpio. The Clemson Gay Straight Alliance is hosting Pride Week and kicking off their week of LGBTQ support with this drag show. You will not want to miss it.
Engineering experts are gathering near Charleston this week to discuss the region's economy due to new manufacturing plants, creating jobs that require advanced degrees. There will be around 200 university leaders in attendance, among which is our own President Clements. The agenda for the meeting includes a tour of Boeing's assembly plant and presentations from Anita Zucker, CEO of the Intertech Group, and James E. Rogers, chairman of the board for Duke Energy. The things discussed in this meeting could very well affect how engineering is taught at schools around the country, and it's starting right here in South Carolina.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month right here at Clemson. A group of organizations banded together to create events this April to raise awareness about the problems of sexual assault on college campuses. This week hosts several events. Thursday at 7 p.m. is the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event taking place at Ramcat Alley in Seneca. And on Friday, you can wear denim all day in honor of Demon Day to raise awareness. Our producer, Katie Davidson, has more on Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
It's time to talk about sexual assault ASAP. But when students are so likely to shy away from the subject, how does this discussion begin?
It's not that complicated. Hold your friends to higher standards.
It starts with individuals who are passionate about change, who want to see a college campus where sexual assault isn't brushed under the rug and ignored. Joey Wilson, a sophomore at Clemson, is one of those individuals. His goal, not only during Sexual Assault Awareness Month, but also throughout the entirety of the year at Clemson, is to eliminate the stigma that lies around sexual assault.
The status quo is victim shaming. The status quo is acting like the problem doesn't exist. The status quo is shoving things under the rug. The status quo is ignorance.
Wilson is working in conjunction with the April Sexual Assault Programming Board, or ASAP, and his fraternity, Delta Tau Delta, to bring a multitude of awareness events throughout April.
Education is the solution, and education is the start to solving this problem.
To kick off this month of events, DTD sponsored a panel discussion about sexual assault with various members of the Clemson community.
Not a lot of people actually file a criminal report when it comes to sexual assault. And part of what I want to convey to you guys tonight is that we want you to. It's not an easy process by any means, but we encourage you to report it.
In a attendance at the panel discussion was Dr. Heidi Zinzo, a professor of psychology and a researcher in the field of sexual assault.
A lot of times people have these myths that it's the stereotypical physical assault from a stranger, and where the victim is somehow trying to resist the assault, and actually your typical assault does not look like that. So that's part, I think, what we need to achieve with college students is how do you define assault? How do we define what consent is?
With the help of these dedicated members of the Clemson family, these myths are being confronted and students are being given the tools to prevent sexual assault as well as help victims.
If someone discloses to you, the biggest thing is how you respond to this person. So a really important thing is to believe the person that's disclosing to you. When they're telling you a story, it's important for you to take what they say and to believe them in that moment.
Though the upcoming events are all during Sexual Assault Awareness Month, the ASAP board knows their efforts must extend long past April 31st in order to impact our current campus climate.
We need to stop blaming the victim and start helping those who have been affected and start stepping up and making sure that it doesn't occur by making things as safe as possible on campus.
In a classroom of 20 female students, 4 will be sexually assaulted during their time at college. For groups like ASAP and Delta Tau Delta fraternity, they know that this statistic will not decrease without education, and they're actively seeking to make Clemson a safer environment for all members of the Clemson family. From Clemson University, Katie Davidson, Clemson News Now.
Thanks, Katie. A team of researchers, including Clemson's own Kyle Brinkman, have developed a material that acts as a superhighway for ions. This means that batteries can be made to be more powerful, as well as many other applications. This material can change how gaseous fuel is turned into liquid fuel in order to be more environmentally friendly, and it can help power plants burn coal and gas in a more efficient manner. The team consists of researchers from USC and the Center for Functional Nanomaterials at Brookhaven National Laboratory in Upton, New York. And of course, Mr. Brinkman from right here in Clemson. Now, here's Gabby Bates with this week's sports news.
Thanks for tuning in. Let's get a look at the top stories for your sports. The spring game took place this past Saturday. The Orange and White conducted their annual face-off with the White taking home the victory. C.J. Davidson for the White ran for 100 yards and had 2 scores to help the White defeat the Orange 35-24. The White team rushed for 212 yards and had 195 yards worth of passing. Artavis Scott had 4 catches and 75 yards for the White team. Wayne Gallman, Clemson's starting running back, had 71 yards and 1 touchdown. Nick Schussler was the quarterback for both teams, in which he had a combined total of 11 to 17 passes for 201 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Clemson baseball team took on the Boston College Eagles this past weekend in a weekend-long tournament. The Tigers were able to defeat the Eagles 15-6 in the first game of the tournament. Matthew Crownover had a great game, pitching for scoreless innings. The Tigers had 5 runs in the 7th inning to help give them their win. The Tigers went on to face the Eagles Saturday, but suffered a tough loss 8-7. On the last day of the tournament, the Tigers rallied with a win of 6-3 over the Eagles. Brody Corner for the Tigers had a career high of 9 strikeouts and only allowed 3 runs and 2 walks. The Tigers will face Western Carolina on Tuesday at 6:30 at Doug Kingsmore. The Clemson men's tennis team had a 4-3 win against Boston College this past weekend. Clemson is now 11-4 on the season overall and 2-9 in the ACC. The Tigers will play their final match of the season Sunday, April the 19th. Now for your other sports. One of the most prestigious golf tournaments, the Masters, took place this past weekend. 21-year-old Jordan Spieth took home golf's green jacket with a 72-hole score of 18 under 270 that matched Tiger Woods' score in 1997. The young golfer battled with some of the most well-known golfers, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, and Rory McIlroy, but none were able to keep up with Spieth. Spieth led the tournament the whole time, breaking the 36-hole and 54-hole tournament records. Congratulations, Spieth, on receiving the green jacket. That's all I have for your sports. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Gabby. The 25th annual Clemson International Festival is happening this Sunday from noon to 4. The festival celebrates diverse cultures and cultural awareness at Clemson. Students, volunteers, and clubs will represent their countries with information booths, food, and fun activities for all ages. The International Festival is a time for Clemson to come together and celebrate our various cultures.
Students, how would you like to be driving around in a car designed by Clemson University? Well, come 2020, you can do just that. Deep Orange 5 is Clemson's own concept SUV targeted to generations Y and Z and will be revealed in Detroit's GM Renaissance Center on Wednesday, April 22nd. The event will be live streamed on Clemson TV's website. Deep Orange is a project that automotive engineering students work on yearly, producing a new vehicle prototype every year. For more information on Deep Orange, visit their webpage at www.cuicardeeporange.com.
WSBF's Shark Week is this week, bringing music, entertainment, and scary sharks to the Clemson campus. Shark Week includes 4 nights of live music off and on Clemson campus, giveaways, a blood drive, and more. WSBF's Shark Week is also a pledge drive week, so WSBF can continue being the radio station we all know and love. Check out their Shark Week Facebook event to hear more about the music and find out where you can donate.
If you see a police officer with CUPD, make sure to congratulate them for being 2014's Public Safety Agency of the Year by South Carolina's Department of Public Safety. This award was given due to CUPD's efforts to uphold DUI laws and remove impaired drivers from South Carolina roads, as well as including victim services and underage drinking prevention educational programs. The CUPD offers advanced training to any officer willing to participate in programs related to DUI case prevention and prosecution. Chief Johnson Link said, quote, "We have worked hard in this area of enforcement and are, and to be recognized for our efforts is very rewarding," end quote. The CUPD made 68 DUI arrests in 2014. Now, here's John Oliver Valentin with your latest in entertainment news.
The MTV Movie Awards were on last night, and unlike other award shows, fans actually get to vote online, and the awards, they're pretty unique. Shailene Woodley won for Best Kiss in Fault in Our Stars, Zac Efron won for Best Shirtless Performance in the movie The Neighbors, and Meryl Streep won for Best Villain in Into the Woods. Coachella was this past weekend, bringing out all the stars in their hippie looks. Kendall Jenner wore a bikini top, a Rhone suede vest, mid-length jean shorts, and a plethora of necklaces. Other stars included Fergie, looking especially trendy in her Woodstock-inspired apparel and funky sunglasses. Justin Bieber also attended, as well as Bella Thorne. And I want to give a special shout out to Gwyneth Paltrow, who's going on food stamps this week. The actress claims she'll only spend about $29 for the whole week on her food. So we'll see how it goes, if she'll go back to those really weird shakes or if she's going to stay on food stamps. I think not. Thanks, guys. Hashtag back to you.
Thanks, John Oliver. Well, Hillary Clinton is off to the races. In a move that surprised very few, Clinton announced her candidacy with a social media-friendly video that made its rounds on the internet on Sunday. The video featured a diverse cast of people acting as everyday Americans, with Clinton explaining that she wants to be a champion for these everyday people. Her Twitter is hopping and her logo is ready to go, so you know Hillary is ready to face off against other presidential hopefuls such as Ted Cruz and Rand Paul.
Earlier today, a gunman shot and killed a man and still remains at large. The victim, Ron Lane, was print shop operator for Wayne Community College in Goldsboro, North Carolina. When the shooting occurred, the school was placed on lockdown. The buildings were cleared shortly after, however, after not finding the gunman. Mr. Lane and other employees knew the man thought to become a shooter, according to authorities. So far, the main suspect of the killing is Kenneth Stansel, a former student of the college that did not graduate. Surveillance cameras captured images of the man thought to be the shooter, but not of the shooting itself. The search still continues for the suspect.
Cruises bring fun and the sun to hundreds of thousands of people a year, but for the people that live near popular ports, they bring pollution and frustration. Reporter Margaret Chase talked with many members of the Charleston community about the booming South Carolina cruise ship economy.
Historic Charleston, South Carolina has been making waves as the #1 tourist destination in America for the last 4 years. But that honor has come at a price, some residents say.
Noise pollution, it encompasses air pollution, it puts traffic into gridlock, particularly near the building where I live, because I live near the gateway where they check in the cars.
At the center of the controversy, Charleston's budding cruise ship industry.
After 5 years, there has not been a genuine material evidence of anything that is damaging to the environment and to the historical district.
But these environmental issues are closer to home for residents like Tommy Robertson.
I don't go out on my porch to enjoy it when the ship's, even now, it's further away down at the south end, but I don't go out and just sit when the ship's here.
We pushed the solution of shore power, which is a pretty cheap solution when you look at the profit margin of Carnival and you look at the health benefits that will come from it.
If we have shore power, which is basically electricity running these ships when they're in dock, it virtually takes out all the pollution, because when the Fantasy is here in town running its engines for 10 hours, that's the equivalent in terms of pollution of 130,000 tractor-trailer trucks.
During a speaking engagement in Charleston earlier this year, Carnival CEO Arnold Donald stated, "We share the concerns about the environment, and we take extraordinary measures to address those."
The State Ports Authority is a state agency, and it is in its bylaws to consider the impacts of the environs in which it works and the people that live there.
However, South Carolina Ports Authority officials declined a request for comment due to ongoing litigation. The constant influx of tourists couldn't be sweeter for businesses like the Charleston Candy Kitchen and the city market vendors that rely on these tidal waves of people.
You've got tens, at least thousands of jobs, if not tens of thousands of jobs. So the impact across the entire community is quite significant. And as I said, I studied the College of Charleston, their business department indicated that it was in the neighborhood of $37 million a year.
It's good and bad. It's good because you get more sales and customers, but at the same time it congests the city to the point where it feels a little stuffed, a little too many people downtown. That's what I would say for the cruise ships coming to town.
No matter your opinion, only time will tell what the future holds for the cruise industry in this thriving southern city.
Isn't finding an affordable apartment hard? Well, only for you, because last Sunday, two Chinese business brothers bought a New York City apartment for the low price of $47,367,491 and a mere 39 cents, a pure chump change. The full-floor apartment is on the 88th floor of the 157 building on 57th Street in New York. It comes with 4 bedrooms and 5.5 bathrooms. And right now, my CEV apartment is looking better and better.
Be careful if you go on a cruise this summer, fellow students, because if you have the luck of the passengers aboard the ship Celebrity Infinity, you could be struck by gastrointestinal illness. That's right, 95 out of the 2,117 passengers aboard the Celebrity Infinity suffered from vomiting, nausea, and other gross symptoms. The Center for Disease Control has yet to determine what caused the ailments. The Infinity left San Diego on March 29th and made its last stop in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, a few days ago. Celebrity Cruises has taken action to combat the illness since reports came in by increasing cleaning and disinfection procedures and keeping passengers well informed. According to the Maritime Executive, this is the 3rd time the Infinity has suffered an outbreak of gastrointestinal illness. Now here's Freddie with Showtimes.
Thanks, guys. Welcome back to Showtimes. We provide you with all the important movie news from a couch to the theater. We cover movies coming to Redbox theaters, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. This week, Redbox has Golden Globe-winning Big Eyes about the 1960s artist Walter Keane and The Babadook, if you like horror movies. Amazon has nothing this week, but Netflix has your movie fix. On Netflix, you can find The Babadook. Along with that, you can find the brilliant comedy Hot Fuzz of the Cornetto trilogy and the blockbuster from late last year, Noah, this week. In theaters this week is the creepy-looking Unfriended, which follows a group chat of some friends who includes the account of their dead friend. Out this week is Child 44, featuring the star-studded cast of Tom Hardy, Gary Oldman, and produced by Ridley Scott. I don't know how it'll be, but with a cast like that, it's hard to go wrong. Out already is DreamWorks-produced Home, which has been doing very well in theaters. Also still out is Get Hard with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. Also out is Fast and Furious 7 with its well-done farewell to Paul Walker. Thank you for tuning in, and watch next week for more updates. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Freddie. Pope Francis publicly recognized the Armenian genocide yesterday, complicating relations with the country of Turkey. The Armenian genocide occurred during and after World War I. Ottoman Turks killed as many as 1.5 million Armenians in the Ottoman Empire. However, Turkey disagrees with this and claims less Armenians died than thought. The Pope's acknowledgement of this genocide caused a Turkish ambassador to the Vatican to leave.
About a year ago, the hashtag #BringBackOurGirls was trending, but Nigeria's children still continue to be kidnapped. According to UNICEF, over 800,000 children have been forced to flee their homes due to conflict between Nigeria's military and the group Boko Haram. UNICEF also reports that this number has doubled in less than a year. The children that are kidnapped by Boko Haram are used as combatants, cooks, and lookouts. The young women are forced into marriage, labor, and even rape. Over the course of the fighting, over 1.5 million people have fled their homes to escape the violence.
Australia's Prime Minister Tony Abbott is fighting back against anti-vaccination supporters with his no jab, no pay plan. Abbott announced on Sunday that Australia will adopt a no jab, no pay plan to curb the wave of recent anti-vaxxers. If parents don't vaccinate their children, they may be forced to miss out on some government benefits. If this law passes, parents who refuse to vaccinate will not be able to collect child care rebates, benefits, and family tax benefit supplements. Parents who choose not to vaccinate for religious or medical reasons, however, will still be able to collect these benefits.
Yesterday, the University of Nairobi in Kenya was the site of mass panic as explosions caused by faulty electrical cables shook the school. The students, still in fear after the Al-Shabaab attack in Garissa, Kenya, fled the building in any way they could, whether it was running over other students or jumping out of the 5th floor of the school. Hundreds of students were injured and taken to hospitals, and one person died, according to the school. Kenya power authorities are looking into the electrical issue, and power will resume after repairs are made. Lastly, here's James with your upcoming weather.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at your weather for the rest of the week. Tomorrow it's going to be pretty warm, high of 79, but moving on through the week, we're going to see it cool down considerably with lots of rain every day this week. That is the story of your week. So carry your umbrella or rain jacket wherever you go. Right now outside it is a cool 69 degrees, a little bit cloudy outside, very humid as you can see, about 71%. It feels like a sauna outside. Taking a look at your radar, we have a low pressure, high pressure front materializing over South Carolina and North Carolina, coming down into South Carolina, and we will see some of these storms move into the Golden Corner area later tonight and tomorrow. And in other news, there is a new broom sweeping the nation. Now back to you guys.
Thank you, James. That's all for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to tune in to Pillow Talk on Thursday night at 10 p.m. to watch our very own John Oliver interview Deshaun Watson.
That's going to be exciting, and be sure to like our Tigervision Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Have a great evening, Clemson, and we'll see you next week on the Monday Night Roar.